a particularly bullish inventory report. Back to you in Global HQ.
Got it, Rebecca Jarvis. Washington, as we've been telling you, battling over the bailout plan, and investors around the world are growing increasingly worried. Take a look at what's going on in the credit markets right now. CNBC's Steve Leisman joins us with more on what's this key market. Actually, we're going to get to Leisman in a little bit. We have seen the credit markets improving as news gets out that maybe we are going to get a deal done today. Let's find out.
In fact, let's talk. We've got some members of Congress on both sides of the aisle lined up to talk to us over the next couple of hours here. We have so far with us Congressman Adam Putnam of Florida, who chairs the Republican conference, and we're waiting for Sherrod Brown, the senator from Ohio, who has a commitment in the Senate chamber. He'll be with us shortly. Congressman Putnam, it's good to see you. Thank you for joining us, sir. Appreciate your time.
It's a pleasure.
We're sort of getting mixed signals. On the one hand, John Boehner says there's no deal yet, but the White House has also been out in the last few minutes saying they're very, very close. What are you hearing right now?
Listen, I think this is very important because words obviously matter here in the early stages of today's market activities. The Hill clearly understands the need for action. There is not yet consensus on what that action will be. The Hill, I believe, views the opening of the Asian markets on Monday as their deadline more so than the opening of the U.S. markets tomorrow. So the fact that the White House meeting isn't even until 4 o'clock today, I think means that you will see Congress working through the weekend to resolve this in a way that can attract support from both parties.
Can we be really explicit here and handicap that? You're saying no deal by the end of today?
At this point, I think that there are so many moving parts that it would be a rapid, historic speed for Capitol Hill to complete that deal by markets closed today.
I don't envy anybody in Congress right now. I mean, anecdotally, we hear that you're hearing from constituents that they are against a bailout package. That's on one side. On another side, you got Wall Street is almost begging for a bailout package of some kind, saying that if they don't get it, it could be far worse than things are right now. Do you listen to your constituents? Of course you do, but do you also then give Wall Street what it needs, or do you sort of give them a little bit here and there and wait to see what happens?
Listen, I give Hank Paulson and Ben Bernanke an awful lot of credit for helping members to understand exactly the precipice that we are standing on and what we face if there is no action. There is not yet clear consensus on the entire solution. There is a great desire on both sides to make sure that we make the connection between Wall Street and Main Street, that there is help there on the liquidity markets and on the credit markets for merchants, for hometown banks and depositors, as well as dealing with the larger economic issues. This is one of those situations, one of those political situations, where you're probably not going to get a lot of credit for the disaster that you avert, and we're all going to be dealing with the hangover of the commitment of the resources to avert that disaster.
We're also now joined by Sherrod Brown, the Democrat from Ohio. Senator, good to see you. Welcome.
Glad to be with you both. Thank you.
What are you hearing right now? I mean, you know, Barney Frank said a little while ago that you Democrats have a deal in place. You just have to convince the Republicans. Can you shed some light on what that looks like right now?
Well, it's a major improvement over Secretary Paulson's give me the $700 billion and I'll let you know later what I did with it. But we're not there yet. We clearly want protections for taxpayers, so the taxpayers have a reasonably good chance of getting their money back. That means that those troubled assets need to be purchased in the right way at the lowest, at reasonably low prices to protect taxpayers. There have to be conflict of interest provisions. There have to be limits on executive compensation. Look, I'm getting 2,000 letters and calls and emails a day, 2,000 a day, 95% opposed to this, and that's because people don't quite trust an administration that comes out of the box saying, no warnings for the last 18 months, no real warnings from the president or the administration. Now they're saying we need it right now and we need it our way. And as long as we're working on this and doing it right and doing it in a sober-minded sort of way, we don't have to finish it today. We have to do it right.
When does it get finished, Senator?
Well, I don't think you set a deadline that you got to have it finished by tomorrow or Saturday. I think we stay here right up until Election Day. I don't particularly care if people can't go home and campaign.
You're saying no deal until Election Day?
I don't put words in my mouth.
Okay.
I said we stay here as long as we need to stay. I don't care if I don't care if people can't go home and campaign. I care about getting this done right. I don't want to hurry it so we can get out of town. I don't want to hurry it because Secretary Paulson and George Bush told us to hurry it. I want to do it right. There's $700 billion of taxpayer money at stake here. People at home just have the belief that this is a Wall Street bailout, which it doesn't have to be if we do it right. And hold on a second. They also have the belief that the people who have caused this are going to be rewarded, and that just can't happen.
I know during the Banking Committee hearings on Tuesday, you asked both Chairman Bernanke and Secretary Paulson if Wall Street needed to apologize to the American people. Do you feel that Wall Street's not been contrite enough in all of this?
No, read the paper a couple days ago. All these people on Wall Street were figuring out how to make money off the bailout itself. No, there's not the contrition. It would be a nice start for people in Wall Street, including the Secretary of Treasury, whom I admire and I like and all that, but the Secretary of the Treasury, who's made hundreds of millions of dollars in Wall Street, it'd be nice if him and some others said, we're sorry we abused the public trust, because they did abuse the public trust. And let's see both the government regulators who failed to step in while ideologically pushing their deregulation agenda, and some of these people that gamed the system. It'd be nice if they showed just a little bit of contrition to the American people.
Senator Brown, I agree with you on a lot of those points, but unfortunately that is all water under the bridge. And right now, the credit markets are nearly frozen. The commercial paper market isn't functioning very well. Bottom line, what that means is if companies can't function, they have to start laying people off. And if this gets delayed, as long as you're saying it could be delayed, it does reach Main Street. Do you feel no urgency to getting this done?
I feel terrific urgency, but I don't think it has to be done today or tomorrow. I think that we want to most importantly do this right. There's no second act here. There's no second chance. If we don't do it right, if we hurry to get it done by Friday at 3 o'clock or whatever date the powers that be set, and we don't do it right, we don't get another chance. We need to send messages to the market that we're serious, we're going to do it, but I want to do it, and I want to protect Main Street, I want to protect public dollar investment, I want conflict of interest prohibitions, I want provisions, I want all of this done right. We can do it right, but it can't be done with the Wall Street bias that Secretary Paulson brings to the table.
Last question to Representative Putnam. I'm curious, it's pretty clear the Democrats are pretty unified on what they need from this package, a structure's in place. In your view, who represents the view of the Republican camp? It would seem that you've got different voices coming out, whether it's Secretary Paulson, the White House, Representative Boehner. You can go down the road and you sort of get different views of what this package should look like. In your view, who's the true representative of the Republican side here?
Look, the most important thing that happened yesterday was John McCain and Barack Obama together releasing a joint statement of principles that shows that this needs to move forward on a bipartisan basis. A populist rant because Wall Street executives won't get down on bended knee and kiss a senator's ring is not the right signal for the markets.
I don't think I quite said that.
We've got to move forward together, Sherrod. We have to move forward together on a bipartisan basis. And Henry Paulson has not abused the public's trust. We've got to solve this. And when you launch a partisan rant on a business network, it does not send any signal to the markets that we are doing anything except playing romper room up here, which is why Congress has a 9% approval rating.
All right.
We've got to work together on this thing and get it done.
Obviously, emotions are running high these days everywhere. Gentlemen, we appreciate your time very much, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Wow.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
That's the kind of talk that's going on, the kind of rhetoric we're seeing not only in Washington, but certainly on Wall Street as well. All right, we got more to come here. We got the latest on General Electric, obviously our parent, but still a very important company in the scheme of things in the American economy. We'll tell you what Jeff Immelt said coming up here in just a few minutes.
And then what does it mean for the company and the stock, what he said, and what's happening to the up markets overall? We're going to hear directly from Immelt right after this.